So, yesterday we talked about self doubt, and as I would say, the universe calling, and today we are talking about self worth. Many a times we get confused with the two terms, but yes, it's very important to realize that energy of self worth. So, let me ask you one thing. You know, have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and the energy shifts? Like even when we are attending sessions of our mentor, Mr. Imran, as soon as he starts speaking, it seems the energy has shifted. Not because he's like the loudest person or the most successful, we never get that feeling in our mind. But because there's something about him, something solid, something unshakable. And many times they don't even apologize for taking up space. They don't shrink when someone disagrees with them. They don't hustle for approval like they're collecting coupons at Big Bazaar. And what is that quality? What's that invisible force field that makes certain people magnetic without even trying? So, today we are going to talk about mastering the energy of self worth and why it changes absolutely everything. And here's the truth that might sting a little. Self worth is the foundation. Everything else is just decoration. Let me repeat that. Self worth is the foundation, and everything else is just decoration. Think about it like a building. You can have the most gorgeous paint, the fanciest furniture, the Italian marble flooring, but if the foundation is weak, the whole thing eventually cracks. So we've spent so much time on decoration. We collect degrees like they're going out of style. We perfect our makeup, our weight, our Instagram aesthetic. We try to be the perfect daughter, the ideal wife, the selfless mother, the accomplished professional. And we're exhausted from trying to be worthy enough. But here's the plot twist nobody warned us about. Worth isn't earned, it's inherent. So you didn't earn your worth when you got that promotion. You didn't lose it when you gained weight after your pregnancy. You didn't prove it when you made the perfect biryani for 30 relatives. Or you didn't destroy it when you spoke up and someone didn't like it. Your worth isn't a credit score that goes up and down based on performance. It's more like your blood type. It just is. It was there when you were born. It'll be there when you mess up tomorrow, and it'll be there when you're old and gray and can't remember where you put your reading glasses. So, now let's talk about why so many of us struggle with this. Because we've been trained, conditioned, really, to look for our self worth in other people's reactions. Let me talk about Mira. She cooks an elaborate meal and she watches her husband's face like she's waiting for exam results. If he compliments it, she feels worthy. If he's distracted and doesn't notice, she feels invisible. Her worth is at the mercy of his attention span that day. Let's talk about Pooja. She posts a photo online. She refreshes constantly. 10 likes. Okay, I'm somewhat worthy. 50 likes. I'm definitely worthy. 5 likes. Something wrong with me. So her worth is being calculated by an algorithm. And let's talk about Kavita now. She says yes to every request from her in laws, her boss, her children, her neighbors, because saying no feels like she's proving she's not valuable enough to deserve boundaries. So she runs herself into the ground, resentful and exhausted, all to earn a worth that was already hers. So, this is what I called the validation trap. It's exhausting because external validation is inherently unstable. It changes based on someone else's mood, someone else's opinions, someone else's insecurities. So you're building your sense of self on quicksand. But inner worth, that's permanent. That's bedrock. So when you understand this, I mean really understand, not just intellectually, but in your bones, your energy changes. You stop performing, you stop shrinking, you stop apologizing for existing. You stop explaining your choices to people who didn't earn the right to hear your explanations. Here's what happens when you master the energy of self worth. One, your boundaries become non negotiable, not aggressive, not rude, just clear. You stop saying yes when you mean no. You stop letting people talk to you in ways that make you feel small. You don't need to justify when you're not attending that wedding, or why you are taking a day off, or why you're not sharing your salary information with nosy relatives. Number two, your standards rise automatically, not in a snobby way, but you simply stop tolerating things that drain you. The friend who only calls when she needs something. You create distance without guilt. The job that disrespects your time. You start looking for better. The relationship patterns that require you to dim your light. You recognize them and refuse to play along. Before, your self care stops being selfish. Yes, when you know your worth, taking care of yourself isn't indulgent, it's logical. You don't need to earn the right to rest. You don't need permission to pursue your interests. And you don't need to apologize for having needs. Would you tell a plant it's selfish for needing water? Of course not. You are the same. You need nourishment, rest, joy, and growth. Not as a reward for good behavior, but because you are alive, you're human. And I love this one. When you stop seeking worth externally, people feel it. Your energy shifts from please validate me to I already know my value. And ironically, that's when you become truly magnetic. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you're not trying at all. So think about the woman you admire most, or the man you admire most. I bet they're not the ones performing constantly. They are the ones who seem comfortable in their own skin, who speak their minds without aggression, and who say, that doesn't work for me, without a three-paragraph explanation. And that's the energy of self worth. So here's what I want you to remember: self worth is the foundation, everything else is decoration. This is where we started. So you don't need to be perfect to be worthy. You don't need to be thin, successful, married, childless, accomplished, humble, or anything else. You don't need to prove yourself to your family, your colleagues, your society, or even to yourself. You are worthy when you're tired, when you're still learning, when you've made mistakes, when you're struggling, when you're messy, confused, figuring things out. You stay worthy. Your worth isn't a destination you reach after you fix everything. It's the ground you stand on while you grow. And when you truly embody this, when you stop hustling for worth and start knowing it, everything changes. Your relationships improve because you stop attracting people who need you to be small. Your career flourishes because you stop underselling yourself. Your mental health stabilizes because you're not an emotional roller coaster based on others' opinions. Your worth isn't something you master in the sense of achieving it. You master it by recognizing It was always there. So before you sleep tonight, I want you to do something powerful. Yes, I'm giving you a sentence, in fact, a part of the sentence, and I want you to complete it 5 times. The sentence begins with, I am worthy even when, and then complete it. I repeat, I am worthy even when, and then you have to complete. And you can say, even when I'm tired, as simple as that. Because by the end of the day, spending throughout the day doing, different activities, completing different tasks, you are human, you will be tired. Or you can say, I'm worthy even when I'm imperfect. Okay. Or when I'm still learning, obviously, you people are learners. Or I'm worthy even when someone disagrees with me, or I'm worthy even when I don't meet everyone's expectations. So write them down, say them loud, let them sink in, because the moment you stop conditional worth and start claiming unconditional worth, that's when you step into the most powerful version of yourself. So, once again, as I mentioned today, self worth is the foundation, everything else is decoration. Believe it, live it. So, with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you.